Good morning and welcome to Inside Jacksonville, a production of the UNF Department of Communication and CW17. I'm Amel Kamel.
And I'm Sarah Van Zant. We're here each month with stories about life on the First Coast.
The word achievement can mean a lot of things. For some, it's rising from a humble beginning to reach success. For others, it's helping those who can't help themselves.
And for some, it means triumphing over adversity to do what others said could not be done. Nicole Laura joins us in the studio to introduce us to a person just like that. Nicole?
Overcoming the odds is never an easy task, but nothing is impossible when you believe in yourself. I'd like you to meet a Jacksonville teen who was inspired by a fictional hero.
Run, Forrest, run! Run, Forrest!
This is one of the most memorable scenes in a classic American movie. Forrest Gump loved to run. This is 16-year-old Matthew Taylor. He dreamed of running ever since he first saw the movie. But, just like Forrest, the odds were not in Taylor's favor beginning very early in life.
He was born 10 weeks early. He spent some time in the NICU. He wasn't progressing as a normal child would, meeting his milestones, and at 15 months he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy.
He's taken many strides to get to where he is now. Taylor never gave up faith. Neither did his supporters. When he was just 13, he faced an ultimatum: get an implant on his spine that pumps medicine to relieve his muscles, or spend life in a wheelchair. Needless to say, he had the surgery.
After he had all healed up, he asked me, "Can I run?"
Dr. Philip Aldana is Taylor's doctor. He performed the surgery that made Taylor's dream of running a reality. Dr. Aldana didn't realize exactly what Taylor meant when he asked about running.
And it's like, what do you mean? Of course you can run. If you want to run, you can run. But I didn't know that he meant to ask me if he could really run competitively. And had I known that he was asking me that, I might have said no, actually.
But the doctor said yes, and that brought Taylor here, running this very challenging local race. Matthew Taylor has been running for 3.5 years, and here at the Wolfson's Children Challenge, he's running to reach his goal of 55 miles, inspiring others to do the same as well. A few weeks before the race, Taylor was here at a Wolfson Children's Hospital event, helping others and giving back. That's where he talked about how much he loves to run.
What inspires me the most is the people of the sport and have that will. I mean, I get a feeling that I want to go run every single day. And I know I get tired and I know what I want to do. And I just got to tell myself, I got to do this for me and have fun and for the love of it.
Running for gold isn't Taylor's only goal. His new dream, making a difference in the lives of other children.
Matthew decided he wanted to give back to the hospital that's helped him the most, so he came up with an idea of a celebrity flag football game, and it's called Matthew Taylor's Hike for Hope, and it's going to actually involve patients from Wolfson Children's Hospital. They'll be out on the field playing a flag football game with the celebrities.
Dr. Aldana isn't surprised how well Taylor's doing.
Matthew's case, I think, is unique because he's not only gained all of those physical abilities back, but he's gained so much more in his personality and his just his whole being.
For now, Matthew continues to plan and look forward to his future and what lies ahead.
Life will not get down, but we can choose to get back up.
Taylor has definitely gotten back up. He didn't quite finish the Wolfson race, but he didn't quit either. Taylor kept going until time ran out on him.
How admirable. So Nicole, does Matthew have any future goals?
Right now he's just focusing on his running, but one day he hopes to run in college.
Thanks, Nicole. Although no two achievers are alike, they all share one thing in common: motivation. Andy Leverett introduces us to an achiever who spends his time helping farm workers on many different levels.
Marcos Crisanto was born in the rural areas of Guerrero, Mexico, and grew up with his family on a small farm. Crisanto came to the U.S. nearly 30 years ago. He was a farm worker for more than 15 years, harvesting ferns and oranges. Crisanto became a citizen and got a job 10 years ago with the Farm Workers Association of Florida, where he's an advocate for other farm workers.
I'm here for the health for the people, not for the money.
Crisanto works to protect the interests of farm workers in several Florida counties through public outreach and legal action. He says farm workers have it tough, living far below the poverty line.
I protect the farm worker because in Florida is not too much right for farm workers.
Crisanto's office is here in Pearson. One of the farm workers he's helped is Pedro Olivares. Olivares asked Crisanto to help with his injuries from pesticide exposure.
They put in the pesticide, and we come out there and later we get a rush all the arms, the body, and the neck, and everywhere.
That was 10 years ago. Today the tables are turned. Olivares volunteers to help Crisanto.
We give it around $100 of food for the people every week.
It's not just food. Crisanto's organization recently purchased computers to help with their children's education.
I have computers for finish the elementary, is the middle school and high school, for internet.
Crisanto tries to make a political impact as well. Here in Gainesville, Crisanto attended a meeting with other politically active farm workers at the University of Florida. This international group of farm workers is called La Via Campesina. Speakers at the seminar discussed many political topics, including issues of law, equality, and human rights.
We have social and economic demands that we put forward.
At the end of the seminar, Crisanto expressed his delight with the meeting.
Our work is working together. I think the Via Campesina is very, very good.
Crisanto is a humble man. He says he isn't doing this to get rich. He is doing this because there is a need. That's what makes him a true achiever. Andy Leverett, Inside Jacksonville.
It's easy to forget that food isn't grown in the grocery store. Crisanto is part of just 2% of Americans that produce food for the rest of the nation.
Being a role model is difficult enough in itself, but leading by example when faced with adversity is truly inspiring.
Adriana Banks joins us on set to explain. Adriana?
Sometimes achievers fight the battles no one else can see. They serve as an example to others while dealing with their personal lives. That can be said for the coach in this next story. It's another day on the court here at Ed White High School for Coach Jeanette Sheffield and her AAU basketball team, the North Florida Lady Spartans. But this basketball practice begins a little differently.
Ability will get you to the top, but it takes character to stay there. How does that apply to life? Somebody tell me.
Sheffield begins each of her practices with an inspirational quote. A.B. Rock, whose daughter plays for the team, says Sheffield makes sure her girls are strong on and off the court.
She prepares them mentally as well as physical, and she not only teaches them basketball, she teaches them life, and you have to have that in order to play basketball.
I love teaching you skills because I'm helping you develop character to be great women, great assets to society.
Sheffield coaches the Lady Spartans nights and weekends. For her day job, she's a history teacher here at Ed White. That's a tough schedule for anyone. It's even tougher on Sheffield. That's because she's been battling lupus since 2008.
At first it was very tough for me because it was new, and I'm a person that really likes control and I like order, and it's something that's totally the opposite. It's really, you don't have no control, there's no order. One day you feel good, one day you feel bad, and it was really tough for me in the beginning understanding what it was.
Though the disease affects her body, she is determined not to let it affect her spirit. Instead, it is her spirituality that gives her the most strength.
But the more I kind of grasp the power within it and kind of understand that this is something that God has given me as a way to bring me closer to Him, but also be an example or be a way to show other women strength.
And her players feel that strength. Olivia Morris is one of them.
And she has just been a mentor, and she constantly sends us Bible scriptures and quotes just before the day starts to like motivate us. And based off of what she's done and what she's been through, like we know that she's a fighter, she fights lupus, and she's still out here and she gives 110%.
Sheffield not only mentors on the court, but off the court with her Princess in Pink mentoring program here at Ed White High School. Princess in Pink is an after-school mentoring program. It is designed to give high school girls a chance to connect with each other and the community. Tiana Huggabook is president of the program. She says the program keeps the girls busy.
We've done the autism walk, we've done the breast cancer walk, we've done different little things around the school, and we're still working on getting more community service hours.
For Sheffield, no topic is off limits. She says it's important to instill a sense of sisterhood for the girls and to set high standards.
I talk to them about their grades. We make sure they're on track to graduate. I had a couple of them who wasn't on track to graduate when they first joined the program. They recently told me the last 2 weeks that they are, so we're very proud of that.
Sheffield is currently extending her Princess in Pink program from after school to weekends so the girls can focus on doing more community service. Sarah and Emil?
Adriana, she's a really busy lady. Does the lupus ever force her to slow down?
Yes, unfortunately it keeps her in and out of the hospital every now and then, but she knows it's a higher power that keeps her going. Back to you.
Thank you, Adriana.
When we come back, we take a look at an aspiring entrepreneur and philanthropist in the area.
Plus, a local photographer who's focusing her camera and her heart on the big picture. Stick around.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Global warming is a problem.
It's a problem.
I wanted to do something to become more energy efficient.
To protect the environment.
To protect the future.
So I turned to Energy Star for help.
Energy Star is helping me be part of the solution.
Everyone can join the fight against global warming. Go to EnergyStar.gov to learn what you can do.
Together,
we can all make a difference.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
A lot of us are busy, and it's hard to find time for ourselves, our families, much less other people. Here's the story of a student who makes the time and some other things too. Meet Katie Lee, a junior at the University of North Florida. She's a public relations major and hopes to work for the Peace Corps after she graduates. She thinks it's the kind of job that suits her.
After going to the Career Center, I talked to them and like, what was your favorite part about any job you've had? And I said working with people. So that led me to the communications major with a focus in PR because I love people.
If there's one thing that attracts Lee more than people, it would be colorful yarn. So she learned to crochet.
I learned at Cascade Outdoors. I was trying to become a river raft guide on the Ocoee River, and my good friend and fellow raft guide, Kayla Brown, taught me.
The first thing Lee learned to crochet? Koozies. She immediately fell in love with it. So much so, she turned this newfound hobby into a small business.
Once I started making them, I would give them away to people because they would get so excited when they saw it, and it made me so excited. So I was like, here, have one.
Lee soon realized there was a gap in the market. Koozies don't have handles, but Lee's koozies do. That's how her company, Koozies by Katie, was born.
Koozies by Katie to me is a chance to help myself grow in the business world and help my creativity grow in the craft world. It also has been helping other people's businesses grow in their personal projects. So I would love to not only help myself, grow a great portfolio, but hopefully be a part of other people's.
Lee loves arranging the colors so that no two koozies are the same. Her favorite part? Seeing the customer's reaction.
The koozies are awesome because they keep your hand warm and they benefit a nonprofit organization, and they're like a fashion statement because you can get them in any color you want.
This colorful cup holder has one more benefit. It helps people.
It gets people more involved, it gets people more interested. It's not just like, hey, these are $12, buy it. It's like, hey, these are $12, $2 also goes to a great cause, and I get a chance to talk about that cause, spread the love about that cause, so it's really cool. I've met a lot of awesome people.
Lee has already donated nearly $300 to several charities. Her next volunteer goal has nothing to do with crocheting or koozies. Lee plans to raise $4,500 for Bike and Build, a nonprofit that raises funds for affordable housing.
When I originally started Koozies by Katie, I donated to the nonprofit organization Give Kids the World. But since Bike and Build came along, it's giving me the opportunity to broaden my donating horizons.
To help get her started, Lee is having a fundraiser at a Jacksonville beach pub. Manager Jason Harrison said he's glad to help.
Well, basically because I'm an avid cyclist, and we've sponsored a team for the MS150 last year, and so I'm really into the whole cycling thing and local charities, so that's why we decided to.
Over 75 days and nearly 4,000 miles, Lee will bike across the country and build houses in 13 different cities. The kicker? This will be Lee's first experience with road cycling. Bike and Build was founded in 2002 and has contributed more than $4.5 million to housing groups to fund projects.
You know, Sarah, I just can't imagine biking across the entire country.
She better start training, right?
Right? You know, it can be tough raising kids while running your own business.
But this next Jacksonville resident manages to do it with a smile on her face. Andrew Huddleston brings us the story.
1, 2, Jane, where'd you go? Jane, one more time.
When Amy Mooney started Photography by Grace, she turned a lifelong dream into reality. For the past several years, she's been building up a steady base of clients. She specializes in infant and family portraits. It's been difficult for Mooney to find time to hold down a job. When she's not working on a shoot, she's taking full-time care for 2 kids.
I do a lot of my editing sitting in doctor's offices, or while the kids are at school, or really, really late at night.
Anyone who's ever raised kids knows what a challenge it is under normal circumstances. Both of Mooney's kids have disabilities. Jen is a softball player who suffers from painful scoliosis. Younger son Jamie was born with autism and other developmental issues. Even at 13, he needs constant attention and care.
Just putting on Jamie's shoes in the morning takes about 5 minutes. And most 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds should be able to put their shoes on in a split second. And unfortunately, my son still needs help with his.
Christine Webb is a professor of exceptional, deaf, and interpreter education at UNF. She spent her career working closely with the developmentally delayed. She says it's a tough situation for her family.
It causes a great deal of stress among parents, siblings, the whole family unit, because sometimes people with autism have real difficulty functioning in a social situation, and it's difficult to go out in public places sometimes.
When Jamie's health proved too troublesome, Mooney had to give up the idea of a career. Her husband, John, was left to be the sole breadwinner. But when Mooney got a camera to photograph her brother's wedding, something clicked. That's when she turned her hobby into a career. But it hasn't been easy juggling her job and her family.
I believe that owning your own business in itself can be emotionally draining and exhausting. But when you complicate it by having a family that does have special needs, it makes you wonder whether or not starting a business was a good idea to begin with. And I have to remind myself that we're a family unit, and that's when my husband steps in and their dad takes over.
For the Moonies, family is all.
And I think that I could not run my business if it wasn't for the support of my husband and my daughter, too.
Even with the challenges she faces with her family and work, Mooney hasn't lost any of her passion.
I'll tell you what makes it worth it. When I walk into a person's house and they have my picture on their wall.
And that makes all the hardship worthwhile. Andrew Huddleston, Inside Jacksonville.
That's amazing. She must have so much energy.
Yeah, energy and patience. It's really amazing.
Mm-hmm. When we come back, it's not a horse of a different color, but it's horses for a different purpose.
That's next. Don't go away.
Bring out the action hero in you. Fuel up right and get energized. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. Number 50,000 is back.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here. I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog.
So, I got this new family. And I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
When people set goals, they can sometimes help others reach their goals too.
For one Jacksonville rancher, his dream of offering a place to ride has touched the lives of many. Travis Crawford has the story.
Rick Lehman herds his horses back from the pasture in St. Augustine. He's always enjoyed riding horses, so one day he decided to trade his air-conditioned office for the life of a rancher. Lehman founded Haven Horse Ranch simply as a place where kids could ride for fun and learn life lessons in the process. Not long after he opened his gates, Lehman noticed something important.
When we first started the ranch, it was because I was watching kids that grew up at the saddle clubs, and kids that grew up with horses were just turning out differently. We knew it had an effect on kids. We didn't know the effect that it had on children with special needs.
Starting a horse ranch is difficult enough. Starting a therapy program for special needs kids is a whole nother animal. Lehman has a staff of 5 certified therapists and volunteers who hold day-to-day therapy sessions. The program mostly works with autistic kids, but Lehman says riding horses seems to help most kids no matter what. The biggest change? The big smile every time a kid gets on a horse. Therapist Megan Stewart sees it too.
I think it's something that you just can't replicate anywhere. You can't replicate it at a clinic. You can't replicate it at home. It's pretty cool to see the kids think that, they are in control of this large animal who is teaching them things that they don't even, the kiddos don't even realize that the animal is teaching them these things. But it definitely is like a like an animal-person bond that you get when you're around them long enough.
Lehman spends as much time with his horses as he can, but it's not all ranch living for him. Paperwork still beckons, and then there are the bills.
Haven Horse Ranch is currently the 4th ranch operation Rick Lehman has founded in St. Johns County. But with big animals come big expenses. According to Lehman, funding the ranch is a constant challenge.
Well, there's the one challenge that never seems to go away, and that's financial resources. Making sure that we've got enough to both pay the bills and help the number of people that are here needing facilities, needing the resources. The other one is probably managing the growth.
As the reputation of his program began to grow, managing the ranch's growth became even more of a challenge. When the therapy program started 4 years ago, the ranch offered 20 to 25 therapy sessions a week. Today, that's ballooned to 75.
You know, it's funny. After 24 years, many is the day I think, you know, it might be time to just hang it up. And then some little, 5, 6, 7-year-old will come up and wrap their arms around your leg and tell you that this has been the greatest day of their life. Okay, walk away from that. I dare you. Show me that you can walk away from something like that. I can't.
Whether it's from the benefits of therapy or the bonds made with horses, Rick Lehman's ranch leaves his cowpokes and its kids walking away with a new perspective. Travis Crawford, Inside Jacksonville.
Hamal, my first job, I taught children the basics, like horsemanship basics. It wasn't anything like that, but it was still the most rewarding thing I think I ever did.
Really, I think that horseback riding, just in general, can teach so many life lessons.
They're like big dogs. They're such sweethearts. I love horses.
I am a big fan too.
Have you ridden a horse?
I have.
Oh, that's exciting. Well, that's a wrap for today's Inside Jacksonville, but be sure to join us next month when we fire up the Wayback Machine to explore Jacksonville's heritage and history.
If you missed anything from today's program, just click through to our website. Go to unfmedia.com and click on Inside Jacksonville. You'll find expanded versions of our stories, photos, interviews, and other extras.
Thank you for joining us this Sunday morning.
We'll see you next time, Inside Jacksonville.